Hello and welcome back to the third episode of Sticky Hopebox Soapbox podcast. I go by B, as in your bestie, in the Hope department, and I'm so glad you're here. I want to thank you all for your patience, as these 2 episodes rolled out much slower than I originally intended. Quite a few things in life hit all at once, personally, locally, and globally, some things I will touch on in upcoming episode 5. Our guest today is Will. Will is a veteran, author, mental health advocate, and dad of 4, including 2 energetic 8-year-old twins. He's also a fellow griever who knows what it means to keep going when grief has knocked the wind out of you. Quick but important note, this podcast is for peer connection, not professional care, and it discusses topics that may be sensitive to listeners. Discretion is advised. This space welcomes varied experiences and opinions, but will always remain rooted in kindness. A gentle reminder that this podcast does not provide medical, legal, financial, nutritional, spiritual, or therapeutic advice. Always consult your trusted professionals for guidance. And if you or someone you love is in crisis, please call or text 988 or go to your nearest emergency room. Before we dive into part 1 of Will's interview, I want to share a few updates from episode 2's special guest, Felicia. Her interview was from 2024, and I'm so grateful I was able to capture where she was in that time. She gave beautiful answers about what it's like to be a peer support specialist and her experiences in that role. That being said, she has a new job as of this month, so here's Felicia 1 year after her interview episode 1. So Felicia, it's been a little over a year since we recorded this podcast. Congratulations, because you officially hit 7 years of sobriety and you got a new job. That's incredible. How does it feel?
Wow, yeah, thank you so much. 7 years feels absolutely surreal. Of course, I'm proud of myself for sure, and I've never once regretted not drinking. And I'm just really grateful that I was able to make the decisions I made 7 years ago, because truth be told, I wasn't planning on being here for 7 more years when I stopped drinking in 2018, and I am just so grateful that I am still here. After dedicating 15 years to working in community mental health and human services in a variety of different roles, including as a certified peer support specialist and a recovery coach, I could tell within myself that I needed to make a change. I was feeling pretty stuck. I was feeling pretty stagnant. And I kind of had to ask myself, Felicia, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And the answer to that is go back to school to make a brighter future for myself. And that's what I did. I went back to school at 35, and I actually just graduated on May 19th. I studied and learned how to become a certified sterile processing technician, and I actually am starting a new job at a big hospital in Boston in the next few weeks, and I am over the moon about it. Even though I have decided to shake things up in my life and kind of make a career shift, if you will, from mental health into healthcare, whether or not I am ever gainfully employed as a peer support specialist again, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. What I do know, though, is that I do not need to be employed as a peer support specialist in order to provide peer support. I give peer support to people every day, and I have for years, and that's whether or not that's my job title, that's not something that's going to stop anytime soon.
I'm so very happy for Felicia's achievements, and it's a beautiful example of how changing one aspect of your life that is negatively affecting you can begin to open up a new world of possibilities. Snaps and claps for Felicia. If you're liking this podcast so far, please subscribe, share, leave a review, and follow along on social media for videos and more from the interviews. This week, we meet Will. Will is a biracial black man rocking a black t-shirt and yes, a band-aid under his eye, unfortunately thanks to a recent bee sting. We are on a video call. He is sitting in a chair with a white wall behind him and a painting in the background with blue in it. This episode wasn't supposed to happen. Not yet, anyway. And why I chose to go down this rabbit hole the week of all weeks, my beautiful brain that I chose to work with, not against, can only speculate. I had other interviews ready, beautiful conversations with incredible people, but something persistent kept tapping me on the shoulder. ask Will if he's available. So I did. And ever since, the timing, the stories, the signs, it all felt aligned in a way I couldn't deny. Emotionally and cosmically, this episode took several unexpected turns. So ultimately, I decided his first introduction episode needed to be in 2 parts, dropped at the same time. Don't worry, you can listen to each one on its own, but if you take them together, you'll find an even deeper thread running through it all. In today's part 1, we'll discuss what led Will to become a mental health advocate, his journey into the military, what he's learned in therapy, some of his favorite coping tools, including walking us through a breathing exercise, and what hope means to him. Will and I met 15 years ago in 2010. Working in live theater, backstage in dimly lit wings, wrangling props, taking cues, sometimes in costume, sometimes in chaos. We were crew members for 3 years alongside one of the most unforgettable people in our lives, Bree. She was our friend, and we loved her dearly. She died unexpectedly in 2014 at the age of 28, and a couple of weeks ago marked 11 years since her passing. The same week, I interviewed Will. In part 2, we touch on her life, her legacy, how her death affected us differently, where we are now, and what has helped us get through the most. And it will include what signs I couldn't ignore and why I felt this had to be a 2-parter. Please meet the always warm and wonderful Will.
Hi, Will, and thank you for joining us on Sticky Hopebox Soapbox podcast. It's so good to see you.
Same here. Give me a little bit, okay? Let me finish this, okay?
Okay.
All right, love you. That's my son, one of the twins.
So cute.
Yes.
How does it feel to be a father of 2 8-year-old twins?
It's tired.
Yeah.
That's why I had to hire somebody to help out.
That's very good.
Yeah,
Yes. Good.
It's tired, especially they weren't exactly expected at 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They came, they're here. They actually did a lot for me.
And you have 2 other children, correct?
Yep. The oldest, Madison, she's 21, and then Will Jr., he's 19. So 4 altogether. That's it. I'm done. So I went through that surgery 2017. It is a wrap. There's no more baby producing here.
Well, you have 4 wonderful children out in the world now, and I know that they're being taught and taken care of very well. So,
They're
Will,
spoiled.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. So, Will, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue, as you can tell.
And one thing, that's true. Oh, that's gorgeous. Favorite breathing or grounding technique?
4 square method. You take a breath for 4 seconds. Now, hold for 4 seconds. 3, 4. Release for 4 seconds. Rest for 4 seconds. 4. And then start again if you need to. So,
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that one.
I asked Will what communities he feels connected to or involved with, which we will dive more into in future episodes. But for this episode, we focus on one.
One of the communities that I'm heavily involved with, and I do identify as the mental health community, that's one I do a lot of messaging in different places, articles and stuff that I write on mental health awareness and stuff. So I really, really like the human service, basically, community.
Thank you so much. And, that's one of the reasons why I asked you to do this podcast is because we actually met working backstage in theater. Mm-hmm. But what I remember very clearly is being able to go to a talk of yours for your book.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and can you just briefly tell us what that was about?
Yes, sure. So the time that you're talking about specifically is when it was Veterans Week, and they had wanted me to speak since I was president of the Blue Hen Veterans, and I had my book, When I Close My Eyes. It was a book I wrote back in 2007, and it was basically kind of like a therapeutic book. It was me getting all my thoughts and stuff down, writing it down, and somebody was like, you should publish it. So I was like, okay, so let me do it. I was speaking about just a lot of my journey, a lot of my struggles and stuff, and it was a lot of recognition about veterans and about how veterans have a life before they go into the military, and how you never know about the things that they were going through before they went in the military. Some reasons why they went into the military. Like for me, I ran to the military, getting away from home. So there's PTSD prior to certain things that some people go through before they even get there. One of the things of discovering myself is understanding the index to which changed in my life to when I started shifting from that innocent kid to this person that was numb for 18 years before therapy. And it was grief. It was grief that started it. My grandmother, my nanny, dying when I was 8 years old was the first loss that I ever experienced. And it came so sudden and shocking. I wasn't ready for it. And each year after that, all the way up until my 22nd birthday, someone has died close to me. And it really took a toll on me compared to all the other things that was happening. It took a toll on me, and I did not know that a big part of my PTSD or a big part of my mental health was not ever learning how to grieve. No one ever taught me how to grieve. I didn't start grieving until I was 26 years old. So grief definitely changed me. But I also say it made me be better because it made me identify with things that plague us all, and it helped me be able to do the work that I was doing. And it connected me with you when we were in theater through your grief with your mom. So yes, so it was kind of like a discussion of that, and then talking about those things.
Thank you so much. And that it really resonated with me because I had a similar situation. It was like around 9 years old, started losing people almost every year, and I never thought about that actually. That no, there wasn't a safe place to grieve, and you were made fun of, or you were like, you're done with that now, you move forward now. It was very new to me to see somebody really talk truthfully and openly as you did, and it made an impact on me. So I want to thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I'm glad that this is my story.
So Will, what does hope mean to you?
Hope to me means going throughout my day knowing that no matter what, the life I lived was warranted. It meant something. It means that the things that we've done when we passed, it meant something. It meant something to my kids. It meant something to the important people in my life. And I've always felt like I don't want to ever not do something that doesn't mean anything. I did that a lot. There's a lot of things in my past that didn't mean anything. When people say, "Oh, have hope or have faith," I always say, okay, well, does it mean something? Does it matter to you? You can't have hope for something that doesn't matter to you. At least that's how I feel,
It's beautiful. Thank you so much. I love that. It's a great answer. If you had a piece of advice or an encouraging word for someone that is going through a hard time, what would you tell them that has worked for you in the past?
Owning it and accepting it. My therapist asked me, do you accept the things that's happened to you? And I had to think about that. The things that you're angry about, do you accept that they happen? The sense of revenge is the inability to accept what someone did to you. And I was like, man, you know what? There's a couple of things that I haven't accepted yet. There's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that I haven't said, yeah, you know what, that happened. And once that clicked, it's like every aspect of life, it kind of works in every answer, every answer to a question that I want to have. Own it like you own everything else. That's good. Own the bad too. Yeah. Don't just own the good stuff. Own the bad. So I would say that has brought me a long way in the past year and a half.
Love that answer. Thank you so much. And can you write a condensed version of that on a sticky note?
Crayola will resonate.
If it wasn't clear, Will's sticky note says, "Own it," in blue Crayola marker. Of course.
Well, you are incredible. Everything you said is just like gold. I cannot wait for people to hear.
I'm glad I can help.
Your gold, your wisdom.
Yeah, whenever you need, just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Will.
What stood out to you most about this episode? Will's story is powerful, and I'm so grateful he was vulnerable back in 2010 and continues to embody that today. While this conversation stands strong on its own, we'll go even deeper in future episodes, as well as in part 2, dedicated to our friend Bree, dropping at the same time as this episode. Until next time, please stay kind to yourself and others. You are not alone.